Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. From this video, I have started a new series of history lesson plans. For this, I have chosen this history book of NCERT. This book is for class 6 and its name is R-Pass 1. So, I have selected its first chapter for making my first lesson plan of history. And the title of the chapter is What, Where, How and When. In this chapter, they have covered so many topics such as where did people live, why do people travel nowadays, or movement of the people, names of the land, finding out about the past, one past or many, what do dates mean, etc. But if we try to cover this whole chapter in one period, which is in almost all the schools for about 35, 40 or 45 minutes, we will not be able to clear the concept of the students. Or in other words, the students will not be able to learn or grasp anything. So what should we do? We should divide this chapter in various subtopics and teach only one topic in one period. So, I have prepared today's lesson plan only on one topic, which is where did people live? And I have given it a title, Early Human Habitats. Because in this topic, they have told us about the habitats of early humans or the places where early humans used to live. So, the title of the chapter is What, Where, How and When, and the topic which we are going to teach from it is Early Human Habitats. So let's see how we'll make this lesson plan. So first of all, on the top we'll write lesson plan number. So this is lesson plan number 1. Then we'll write date, class, subject, which is history, topic, which is early human habitats, period and duration, which is 35 minutes over here. Then we'll write general aims. General aims are usually related to the subject which we are going to teach. So since we are going to teach history, so the general aims over here will be related to the subject history. So they will be to enable the students to interpret the present in the light of past, to develop their memory, reasoning, judgment and imagination power, to develop a scientific and historical attitude in the students, to create interest in the students for the study of history, to inculcate the sense of patriotism among the students, to enable the students to develop international understanding. Then we'll write specific objectives. Specific objectives are related to the specific topic which a teacher is going to teach in the classroom. They should be related to all the 3 domains of learning, which are cognitive, affective and psychomotor domains. According to NCERT, for cognitive domain, we have to make the objectives related to 3 levels of learning, which are knowledge level, comprehension level and application level. We formulate 2 objectives for each level like this. Then we'll formulate objectives for affective domain. Here we'll write one objective related to interest and one related to attitude. Then we'll write 1 or 2 objectives related to the psychomotor domain. As per NCERT, we'll make objective related to skill in this domain. Then we have to write that which teaching learning material we'll be using to teach this lesson. So here we'll use the map of Indian subcontinent showing early human habitats. Then we have to mention the previous knowledge of the students because we use the maxim of known to unknown while teaching in the class. So the teacher should be aware of the previous knowledge of the students. So here we'll write that the students already have some knowledge about early humans and they also know about some of the basic necessities of the life. Then before starting the lesson, we always ask some introductory questions. And these introductory questions are always based upon the previous knowledge or the general knowledge of the students. We can ask 3 to 5 questions over here. Here I have written 4 questions. Out of all these questions, the last question should be a problematic one, and it should also be related to the topic. Problematic means that the students will not be able to answer that question. So here we'll make 2 columns. One for pupil teachers activity and other one for the students activity. In the pupil teachers activity column, we'll write the first question, which can be, where do the animals live? And the expected answer of the students will be, the animals live in jungle. And the second question can be, where do humans live? So the answer can be, humans live in the houses. And the third question can be, why do the humans live in the houses? And the answer can be, the humans live in the houses to protect themselves from heat, cold, wind, rain, wild animals, etc. Now the fourth question over here can be, where did the early humans live? And the students will not be able to give any response. So here we'll write no response because this is a problematic question. After getting no response, we'll give the statement of aim, which means we'll declare our topic. So we'll say, today we'll study about the early human habitats or the places where early humans lived. Then comes the presentation part. Here we'll make 3 columns on the left punch sheet and 3 columns on the right punch sheet. So in the presentation part, we have to explain all the things which we have to teach in the class. Here we'll divide the topic early human habitats into various teaching points so that we can clarify the concept of each point easily. And before explaining each teaching point, first we'll ask 2 questions from the students. These questions should be related to their general knowledge or previous knowledge. After getting the answer from the students, we'll explain that particular point. But here you have to remember this thing, that you will not ask a problematic question. You have to ask both the questions related to the previous knowledge or general knowledge of the students. Or you can show them the timeline or map, after looking at which they will be able to answer the question. Here, first teaching point is banks of river Narmada. So question 1 can be, name some important rivers of India. And the expected answer of the students will be, some important rivers of India are Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Brahmaputra, Tapti, etc. Question 2 can be, which river flows through the states of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat? We'll ask this question by showing the map to the children so that they can locate river Narmada on the map. Teachers should use a pointer to point at the name of the river so that the students can easily locate that river on the map. And in this way they'll be able to learn that through which states river Narmada flows. So they will give the answer that river Narmada flows through the states of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. After this, we'll explain the concept and we'll say, correct. River Narmada flows through the states of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. In ancient times, there were no such facilities as we have these days. Water was not available at homes as we have now. So people used to live near the river. People lived along the banks of river Narmada for several hundred years. Then in the teaching method column, in front of the questions and answers, we'll write question answer method, and in front of the explanation, we'll write lecture method. And in the teaching aid/blackboard work column, we'll paste the miniature of the map. Then the next teaching point is skill gatherers. Before teaching this point, we'll again ask 2 questions from the previous knowledge or general knowledge of the student. Here we can ask them, what do we eat when we are hungry? The expected answer of the students is, we eat chocolates, chips, fruits, vegetables, meat, etc. when we are hungry. Or they can say we eat food when we are hungry. Then you can ask them, from where do we get all these things? So the students will say that we get all these things from the market. Then you will explain your point that in the ancient times, early humans who lived next to the banks of the rivers were skilled gatherers. They used to gather their food. They knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surrounding forests and collected roots, fruits and other forest produce for their food. They also hunted animals to eat. Then the third teaching point is Suleiman and Kirthar Hills. Here again we'll ask two questions. First question can be, find Suleiman and Kirthar Hills on the map and tell which part of India they are located in. So for this we'll show them the map. The students will locate Suleiman and Kirthar Hills on the map and they'll give the answer that Suleiman and Kirthar Hills are in the northwest of India. Then we can ask the other question, why do people rear animals like goat and cattle? The expected answer will be, people rear animals like goat and cattle to get milk and meat from them. So here we will say some of the areas where women and men first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley about 8,000 years ago are located at Suleiman and Kirthar Hills. People also began rearing animals like sheep, goat and cattle and lived in the villages. The place where rice was first grown are to the north of Vindhyas. And in the teaching method column in front of the questions and answers we'll write question answer method, and here we'll write lecture method, and in the teaching aid/blackboard work column we'll paste the miniature of the map. If we write something on the board, then we have to teaching method column in front of the questions and answers we'll write question answer method, and here we'll write lecture method, and in the teaching aid/blackboard work column we'll paste the miniature of the map. If we write something on the board, then we have to show it in the teaching aid/blackboard work column. Next teaching point is Garo Hills and Vindhya Range. So here again we'll ask two questions. Showing the map, you will ask which hills are located in the northeastern India. We can use the pointer to point out that name which we have mentioned on the map and which we want to elicit from the students. So we can point at that and we can say which hills are located in northeastern India, and the expected answer will be Garo Hills are located in the northeastern India. Then our second question will be, look at the map and tell which mountain range is located in central India. The students will look at the map and they'll say the Vindhya range is located in central India. Note that the students will not be able to answer this question by themselves. We have to write it in advance on the map and point out towards that name so that they get the idea that this is the Vindhya range and it is located in central India. Then we'll explain this teaching point, that these were some of the other areas where agriculture developed. The places where rice was first grown are to the north of the Vindhya range. In the students activity column, we'll write students will listen carefully, and in the teaching method column, we'll write lecture method. And here we'll use the blackboard also to show them that the place where rice was first grown are to the north of the Vindhya range. Then the next teaching point is river Indus and river Ganga. So before explaining this point, we'll again ask two questions. Number one will be, India derives its name from which river? The answer will be, India derived its name from Indus River or river Indus. Then question 2 will be, where do the smaller rivers flow into? The answer of this question is, the smaller rivers flow into the larger rivers. Now we'll explain our point, that smaller rivers which flow into the larger rivers are called tributaries. About 4,700 years ago, some of the earlier cities flourished on the banks of Indus River and its tributaries. We'll show the map while explaining this point. And then we'll say, Later, about 2500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of Ganga and its tributaries and along the sea coast. Then, the sixth and last teaching point is Magad. So, before explaining this point, we'll again ask two questions. Question 1 will be, which river is considered as holy river in India? The expected answer of the students is that River Ganga is considered as holy river in India. Then by showing the map, we'll ask them, look at the map and tell which tributary of Ganga flows in the central India. We'll point towards that river and river's name so that the students will get the answer that tributary of Ganga named as Sun flows in the central India. In the teaching method column, we'll write question answer, and in the teaching 8/blackboard work column, we'll paste the miniature of the map once again. And then we'll give the explanation, which is, in ancient times, the area along these rivers to the south of Ganga was known as Magad, now lying in the state of Bihar, and we'll show that part of the map, and then we'll say its rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom. Kingdoms were set up in other parts of country as well. And then we'll mention this point on the blackboard as well, that rulers of Magad were very powerful. So now we have completed the presentation part. So it's time for asking comprehension questions from the students to test their knowledge, that how much they have learned. And on the basis of these comprehension questions, we'll prepare the blackboard summary or whiteboard or green board summary, whatever type of board you have in your classroom. So here we'll ask the first question, who were skilled gatherers? And the answer of this question will be, early humans who lived along the banks of the river Narmada were skilled gatherers. Then we'll ask second question, which is, why were they called skilled gatherers? And the answer of this question will be, they were called skilled gatherers because they gathered their food. They knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surrounding forests and collected roots, fruits and other forest produce for their food. They also hunted animals. So they'll give this answer because you have already taught them all these things. But here in the blackboard summary, you can just write, skilled gatherers gathered their food. Then the next question will be, where did men and women first begin to grow crops such as wheat and barley? And the children will give the answer of this question and you will write that answer on the blackboard. Men and women first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley in the area of Suleiman and Kirthar hills. Then you will ask fourth question, which places was rice first grown? Children will give the answer and you will write it on the blackboard. The places where rice was first grown are to the north of the Vindhya range. Then you can ask, when did some of the earliest cities flourish on the banks of river Indus and its tributaries? Children will give the answer. About 4,700 years ago, some of the earliest cities flourished on the banks of river Indus and its tributaries, and you will write that answer on the blackboard to prepare your blackboard summary. Then you can ask, about how many years ago did cities develop on the banks of Ganga? Children will give the answer. About 2,500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of Ganga and its tributaries. And you will write that answer on the blackboard. And then you can ask last question, which areas rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom? Children will give the answer. Rulers of Magad were very powerful and set up a large kingdom, and you will write that answer also on the blackboard. You can write these answers either like this, or you can write them in a form of a flow chart also to prepare your blackboard summary. These questions should be based on your learning objectives. After writing this blackboard summary, the pupil teachers will instruct the students to copy down the blackboard work, and meanwhile they'll supervise the class. After this comes the recapitulation part. Here also you will ask some questions, but the questions should be objective type. which means either they can be match the following or fill in the blanks type or one word answer or right or wrong, true, false, etc. Here I have asked match the following type questions. On the left side, first is Narmada Valley, second is Magad, third is Garo Hills, fourth is Indus and its tributaries, and fifth is Ganga Valley. And on the right side, A is the first big kingdom, B is hunting and gathering, C is cities about 2500 years ago, D is early agriculture, and E is the first cities. So here the children will match them with the correct one. Here below this exercise you can write the answers also. The last part of the lesson plan is homework. Teachers should always give some homework to the students. So here you can give one or two questions. I have given them this question: locate following rivers and hills on the physical map of South Asia. Number 1, river Narmada, 2, river Indus, 3, river Ganga, 4th, river Sun, 5th, Garo Hills, 6, Suleiman Hills, 7, Kirthar Hills, and 8, Vindhya Range. So that's all for today. I hope that this video was useful for you. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to it yet. We'll meet you in the next video with some other topic. Till then, goodbye and thanks for watching.